Righto, engine removal, Ford Cleveland. This is an XE, but I guess it's similar to a lot of the other stuff with the V8 Cleveland in it. Wow, probably 5 hours, I suppose. I'm on my own. Of course, be a lot quicker with another fella, but I'm on my own. We're in lockdown, so it is what it is. So basically, I emptied all the fluids. This has got a FMX auto, so you have to actually drop the pan to get the oil out. See the pan in there, there's bolts around there, so just get your bucket, throw it under there. While you're under there, disconnect all the linkages, you'll see them. There's 4 cables as well, just little terminal plugs, they just come off easy. And the speedo cable you need to disconnect as well, and disconnect the 2 oil lines while you're under there. All very simple stuff, you'll see it, nothing complicated. It's good to have a little hoist too. They work well when you're on your own and you don't have the space on your roof to go up in the air. So yeah, obviously engine oil, get rid of all that. Disconnect the power steering lines are down there, disconnect them. That's pretty straightforward again. There's an oil cooler, a transmission oil cooler on this that sits on the front just up here. So there's a couple of lines I disconnected on that, only because it was very hard to get the oil cooler out with the lines connected. Otherwise I'd probably leave them all connected. Obviously disconnect battery and all that other stuff, standard stuff. Righto, so I can't get this battery thing out because it's rusted. So I'm going to give it a go without taking it off, but I can't see why it should be a problem. So anyway, air conditioning, if you've got it, disconnect all your air conditioning stuff up here. I've taken the heater core out and the aircon core out of this car, but anyway, there it's all the connections are up in here, very straightforward. Make sure you degas it, blah blah blah. Right, so radiator, aircon condenser, I disconnect the brackets on each side, and then aircon condenser came out. You don't need to do that first, but it was just convenient. So the radiator's held on by these 2 screws here, and they got the clamp on either side. Take that out. Obviously empty the radiator by the bottom hose down there. Right, so then wiring disconnection of the coil, so just label it, pretty standard stuff. There's the earth at the back, right at the back there, you've got the earth lug, disconnect that. You've got the battery, while you're underneath, disconnect the battery terminal from the battery and all that as well. So while you're under there, try and do all the disconnections while you're under there and comfy on your rolly thing. I think I see. No, don't know. So anyway, so keep going. Alternator disconnections. So disconnecting everything on the alternator. Again, just label it. It's all there. Just trying to think what else. Yeah, obviously the radiator pull out, fan shroud pull out. So radiator comes out first, and the fan shroud comes out after it. I think there's not much more I can think of that would be disconnected. Try and get everything to go with the motor. That's what seems to be the best way. Oh, throttle linkages, of course. Only because I've got the aircon, I need to look after it. So throttle linkages, this is a Holly, but they're all the same. There's a choke linkage here, and a throttle linkage on the other side. So throttle cables here that I've pushed out of the way, and the choke cable. And any vacuum lines, you'll see the vacuum lines. So there's a choke cable there. You'll see the vacuum lines, just get them out of the way so they don't get in the way while you're pulling it out. Oh, by the way, I've never pulled one out before. I'm just learning as I go here. So I hope I've got everything. This one's got the engine lift points already on it, so I don't believe they're necessary to have them. Apparently you can get spots at the back and the front of the head, but or you use a carby plate as well. You can get carby lift plates, eBay and all that, but I'm going to give these ones a go. Obviously they're designed for a reason. So I'm going to pull the plugs out just to get them out of the way while I'm lifting it out. So, disconnect the exhaust down there too. Actually, it's amazing how easy exhaust things can be disconnected. It's the copper setup on them, which is cool. Copper nuts. So disconnect the exhaust. I had to take the exhaust off this one. Yeah, you might be able to drop the exhaust out of the way, but it's probably just as easy to take the exhaust off. There's a couple of clamps underneath there to disconnect the exhaust. Nothing over the top. This one had the exhaust welded on, so I had to cut the exhaust off, but that's okay. So while you're mucking around with the exhaust, yeah, disconnect your diff, wherever that is. Yeah, up under there, so you'll see. Disconnect the diff. There's 4 bolts there, pretty straightforward, and pull out the disconnect tail shaft. Pull out the tail shaft. You might get a little bit of oil drop on the ground, but that's okay. Well, I think that's pretty well all I did from memory. I think that's it. Yes. Anyway, and engine mounts too. Of course, disconnect the engine mounts. You need a this one. You just need a spanner on each side. So they're down there. You'll see them when you get under there. It's actually pretty straightforward. Nothing difficult to get to. Just trying to think. I think that's all I did. Power steering. All lines. Electrics. Yeah. That's it. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna rip this thing out. See how it goes. Hopefully successful.